Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Oh, my brother, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just trying to stay warm in this minus 3 degrees, and that's not with the wind chill. So,
Okay, and it's, with the wind chill, it's minus. They say it feels like minus 10 out. I shouldn't say with the wind chill. They say it's flurries coming down right now, Ken.
Oh my God, we don't. we didn't had enough snow for the weekend, so yeah.
Oh man, I was looking at those pictures in Milwaukee. Man,
it's crazy, Mike.
Oh, Ken, how many inches did y'all get?
Well, in Milwaukee, they said it's like maybe they said 5-6 inches, if that, but where I'm at, Mike, it's like 10, 11.
Yeah, because you farther from the lake.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you living in Ken. See, folks, if y'all understand, Ken living in the mansion.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, he far from the lake. So
man.
But hey, folks, do us a favor. As always, we want you to go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification, so you can get all of our content. You don't want to miss
those
what
comments.
We put down. Yeah, man, we love those comments, man. We love going back and forth, whether it is in support or in disagreement.
Right.
It don't matter, man.
No, right.
We
exactly.
We just want the conversation to
continue.
To kick in. And more than likely, Ken hit you back. I try to slide in every now and then, but you're getting that wisdom from him. Hey, man, check this out. And we're going to get into our game of the week, which was the Boston Celtics versus the Milwaukee Bucks. But, man, Ja Morant. King.
Oof, Mike.
Man, what was your thoughts when you heard that?
Mike, when I heard it, at first I saw it on the feed. I was like, that can't be true. And then, later on I saw, Sports Center. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And it was, they were starting to pick up the pace as far as winning, playing better, things like that. Marcus Smart had came back also. And, it seemed like the team kind of unified when he came back and, just started just to, get behind him and support him. But, man, now that he's out for the whole season, Mike, there is no way. I may be wrong about this, but there's no way they even making the play-in.
Yeah, man. Ken, I'm like you, man. When I first saw it, I thought too. I was like, yeah, whatever, man. And I thought maybe, he just had a little shoulder thing. He'd be out a couple games, man. But when I heard shoulder ending surgery,
right,
I was like, man, can anything else go wrong for the Grizzlies, man? I mean, when you think about it, they haven't had Steven Adams for 2 seasons now, man.
Right.
And he's such a big part of the team. And frankly, Ken, I just like watching Ja play. You know what I mean?
I do too, right.
Even if they didn't make it, man, it's just exciting to see that dude go to work. And but no, I agree, Ken. Serious blow.
It is. And the other thing, remember, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about Ja and what he brings to the NBA in Memphis. You'll see, and I'm hoping this won't happen, that you may see them being the trading some players away because their season is over with. That's a possibility, but we'll see what happens before the trade deadline. But I mean, for the fan base, I know they just crushed.
Man, they all hope is gone. What was that song? The thrill is gone.
Yeah, but the other thing on the business side of it, Mike, I just think great player, exciting to watch.
Yeah,
but you have to surround, let's just say, great players with other great players. And I don't think Memphis has done a great job in doing that with Ja.
Yeah, it's kind of been, Yeah, it's kind of been, Ja, and you do have defensive player of the year in what's that brother's name again? His name is leaving me now.
Um,
You know what I'm talking
Jackson.
about. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, but he stays in foul trouble so much because he's trying to do too many things on the defensive end, and without Adams with another big dude in, he finds himself in situations, man, where he's trying to help on defense, and he just Jared Jackson, right?
All right.
So besides for him, Bane can get loose, but Bane is a liability really on the defense, I think. You bring in Marcus Smart. Since Marcus came back, Marcus been balling, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
gotta give
definitely.
him that, man. He like had 8 threes that game. I was like, great goodness, man. And so they seemed like they were gelling together. And then this happens, man. So I don't know if you heard about the rumors. I don't like the rumors. I don't like rumors. Look at all these
The
rumors.
rumors.
But man, they talking about Marcus Smart, the Bucks going after Marcus Smart, giving up Bobby Portis. And who else was on that name? It was Bobby Portis and
Connington.
yeah, it was Connington. Yeah, Pat, it was Pat. And I was like, bruh, under no circumstances are we letting Bobby go.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Bobby a
Zero
fan.
circle.
He a fan favorite, so I don't see that happening. I mean,
Man, you had to bring in KD or somebody. You had to bring, you know what I'm saying? You had to bring in you had to bring in a top 75 player, man, in order to even think about that.
but no, I don't see that happen. I don't. I mean, you never know what can happen, but I just don't see
Yeah.
that happening, Mike, because uh I think right now you can get Marcus a little bit cheaper than that to me right now because um I think may I think Memphis may be setting themselves up for a pick so they can maybe trade away so they can get a bona fide, let's just say, number two person on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just me saying that, but I just don't see that scenario just happening. Um, if you told me Marcus Smart, you know, may leave Memphis, yeah, I could see that, but not for that situation. It's.
Well, I mean, Memphis is in the best situation right now because they don't need to let him go, but teams need him.
Correct, right.
So if they were going to make a move, maybe do it, closer to the trade deadline. We're gonna be talking about trades coming up here in the next week or so, but um, I just think they're in a more power position now than what they will be if they wait till the summer or something like that and think about trying to get rid of him because teams are desperate to get better.
Right,
And
but
no, go ahead,
the
Ken.
but the thing about it, Mike, is that I mean, this is just hearsay. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Marcus was not happy, going to Memphis,
Yeah, yeah.
and I mean, it was from what I hear, I put it that way, is that it was just like this is a team I don't want to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Ja
Mm-hmm.
was suspended for 25 games.
Yeah.
You had some other players who left, so
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't too happy. And some parts of it, um, from what I hear, rumors again, is that
Mm-hmm.
let's just say Tatum, Brown, and Marcus, they just didn't, let's just say, get along all the time. Especially.
Yeah, Ken, I think Marcus is vocal.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Marcus gonna speak his mind. He is, Marcus is an OSU boy. So I saw him play when he was in college. He's a dude that is gonna speak his mind, and I just don't see JT and Jalen as dudes like they just don't seem like they can take constructive criticism, especially from somebody that they think is not as good as them. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like some dudes can, like I feel like Giannis, like Jay Crowder can say some stuff to Giannis, right? Like other cats can say because his ego is not that big, man. And I'm not saying that these dudes are egomaniacs, but I just think I remember when he called him out about sharing the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was like, we ain't, and I think that was that was a sticky thing for them. So but man, really, Ken, let's just say, let me ask you this question. What does this say about Ja legacy, man? I know it's early. I mean, he got into the, the little, social internet thing. Got suspended, came back, got suspended again. Now he was missed 25 games, come back injured for the whole season. Man, this is a business where when you out of sight, out of mind. And when you don't get that, I just think his window, do you think coming back next year for his legacy, do you think his window is short where, say, for instance, something else happened, he out 20-some game, he get injured again or something like that? Do you think that, man, like this, as much as we want to see this guy and we thought this guy, that he might turn out just like to be just another dude that we really just forgot about?
I can't. I can't say that. I think that his legacy, um, even though he's injured in the 25 game suspension,
Mm-hmm.
I just think that he came back, after 25 game and just kind of picked up where he left off.
Yeah.
I compare Ja to Allen Iverson as far as how they play, how they score, and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that the team is behind him with the injuries. I think he'll, once he comes back next year, he'll pick up where he left off at. The thing that I'm hoping is that, with his legacy is that you want to be just more than a great player. You want to be a champion.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the thing that his mindset has to be on, the personal accolades that he's going to get as far as being the player that he is. That's fine. But, you want to win championships.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to have to, I'm going to use the word force, Memphis to be serious about winning the championship. Kind of the same way that Giannis said this year about, we need to put some pieces or get some pieces so we can win the championship.
Yeah.
And I don't think Ja has done that yet, but I think he has to. To really be in that, let's just say, that championship world is, what players want to look for. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man, I think, Ken, I agree with everything that you say. I think that I think his window is not large, man, because like he's got to come back next year and they need a successful year. I mean, as a team, they need to go deep in the playoffs. They need to maybe get to the Western Conference Finals because they have just been in shambles, man. If it hasn't been injuries, who was that Jaden McDaniel last year that punched the wall, that broke his hand, that kept him out the playoffs? I was like, and McDaniels do some, anyway, he do some crazy stuff, man. He fouled out the other day. I was like, man, what you doing, bro? Because he is a great defensive player, man. He's long, he's tall, he can move his feet. And so just a lot of things have happened to them, and this rests on Josh's shoulder. And I think, like you can, if they don't come back and do a deep run and make a statement, I think that he just becomes another kind of exciting dude that we can see every now and then, but nobody's going to take them serious anymore.
Okay.
And I think that's where everything's at. Because if just let's say, Ken, if his career ended right now, his legacy is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like he's got work to do.
I agree. Yeah. I can't disagree with that. Yeah. I mean, but the thing about it, Mike, is that, as they say, here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a little work to do. I mean, and I thought, when he came back, the excitement in Memphis was up, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
take the last second shot, and hit it.
Yeah.
It was building, and they were winning some games on the road. And I was like, man, okay, Memphis, kind of kicking it up in gear. So
Yeah.
it's like you said, they do need to, let's just say, bring it up as far as getting to the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Being in contention or
Yeah.
to win a championship. So
Yeah. I mean, man, Murphy's Law, right? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And that's been like Ja's, the last couple years, man. And he's such an awesome talent, and to see his career moving in this direction. And I think he had problems with his shoulder last year. Like
okay,
and I mean the way Ja plays,
plays
I mean, he's double clutching. He's maneuvering under you. And he's not the biggest dude, right?
right, exactly.
Even in girth, he's just not. And I just think cats like that, unless you can figure out like what Kyrie has figured out. Like Kyrie has figured out I can just eat you up and not take too much punishment. Ja still like, Ja trying to fly through the line and dunk on you. You see what I'm saying? He trying to put you in a poster, man, until he stop, losing some of that and figuring out how can I still be effective without taking that level of punishment,
Right.
then I will. But I'm just very disappointed, man, for him and for what the run they were going to try to make, and just getting back to Marcus for a minute, then we'll move on, Ken. But I can't say I was mad at Marcus because, like, Marcus been playing for championships.
You're right. Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? He been playing for championships. Like if Drew had ended up in Portland, then Drew, that'd have been a different Drew Holiday.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
like yeah, he on Boston now, and they playing for championships, right? And that anytime you're in a position where you can play for a championship, man, you just you're a major player,
Mm.
you just can't be mad at it, man. So we'll see what happens, man. With any trades that might take place. But Ken,
But let me say one. Let
okay,
me
go
tell
ahead.
you one other thing. Is I thought Memphis brought in Marcus for that leadership because he was
Mm-hmm.
playing for championships,
Mm-hmm.
and Marcus is going to say, like you said, say what he's going to say, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of who it is. And
Yeah.
I thought it was a good trade for them to bring in some leadership, a guy who's been in the finals and been a
Mm-hmm.
leader on a team like Boston. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, he matches their pedigree, tough defensively, hard nosed type of basketball, very physical. So he matched that, man. So yeah, I agree with you, man. So moving to his former team, the anticipation of this game coming up, people around the league were saying just how invincible Boston was, and they're still undefeated at home. But they were really crowned the de facto Eastern Conference champions at game 30. And well, folks, you know that Boston is a rival of Milwaukee, so there's no love for the Boston Celtics. Although I respect them. I
Oh, they
respect
agree.
them big time. I respect Tatum and Brown, and I don't really expect Porzingis yet, but that's a whole nother story. But White and I respect all them dudes, man, because they play. They
Oh,
they 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 come out and they ball, man, and I love that, man. I love to see folks playing hard and this, that, and the other thing. So so the game came up, man, and wasn't much of a game.
no, it was over
Your
at
thoughts?
halftime.
Your thoughts,
It
Ken?
was over at halftime, and let me get this out in front.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I saw some of the analysts say, Boston was on a back to back, so the NBA didn't set this up well, or they played 5 games in 7 nights. Just making I'm gonna say the excuse for Boston why they lost the way they did. Um, and then not giving the credit to Milwaukee, which they played that first half. That was probably the best first half I've seen Milwaukee play all year.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think Milwaukee was, let's just say, ready and pumped up for this game. And it was at home, a national televised game. That in itself,
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah.
But Giannis played well. I tell you, to me, as far as I'm concerned, let's just say the MVP of the game was Bobby Portis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
killing
he
them.
was cooking. He
Right.
was cooking.
And as usual, as I say, Boston as a team, they live by the three and die by the three. So that first half, they died by the three. The thing that I didn't like about the game, Mike, was none of the Boston their starting five didn't play the second half.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, King.
That, to me, that was disrespectful to the game and to the NBA and to the fans. So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I understand that you on back to backs, but you at least give your team a chance to come back or make it interesting in the third quarter. By, let's just say, 4 or 5 minutes left in the third quarter, you see that you haven't made any progress, and you say, "Hey, let me take my starters out so they don't get hurt." I get it. Every team does that, but for you not to play them not a minute in the second half. Yeah.
Okay. Kenny Smith asked Shaq the question. Have you ever seen that done before in the history of the NBA? Shaq said no. He asked Shaq the question. Have they ever taken you out? Like, no. Listen, man. He didn't want his starters to get embarrassed. That's the bottom line. And Ken, we normally see where if you down like that, you come out, you play hard in the third quarter, you try to cut it a little bit, and then your starters even come back out in the fourth. You have some starters on there, and then you call it. If it's 8 minutes left and you still that's when you throw in the towel. But you do not throw in the towel at halftime. That's disrespectful.
It is.
You got spanked. It's 2 halves to every game. We know we've seen teams down by 26 at halftime and come back and make it a decent game. This is about competition. And man, well, first of all, I don't like Joe Mazzulla anyway. I just never liked him as a coach. He don't look smart. I mean, that the idea that your team is going to live and die by the three, I think is dangerous. Because Ken, you pointed out, in that situation where you're hitting, oh yeah, you're gonna blow a lot of teams out. But you're gonna get that opposite effect when you run across a good team that's focused and you're not hitting. Because see, it wasn't just, man, listen, kid, let's stop this back-to-back thing. Man, these are NBA players, man. They fly around in the most luxurious. They get the best hotels, man. They get the best trainers. They playing 2 games in a row. Oh wow, that's just too much for these 20-year-olds and these early 30-year. Come on, stop it, man. I do not want to hear. They don't mention how the Bucks played a back-to-back when they played Boston the first time, and they made it a game. They don't say how Minnesota was coming off. That was a back-to-back for Minnesota when they went into double overtime with them.
Yeah.
And they barely beat Minnesota without 2 of their starters. Come on, man. See, this is what I'm talking about, Ken. This is the narrative, right, that they put out there. Man, the Bucks can't get no love on NBA TV. They can't get no love on TNT. They can't get no love nowhere, man, because listen, Boston wanted to win that game. If you don't think Boston came in there to tell the Bucks, y'all can never beat us. We don't care if it's on our home court or if it's in your building. Boston came in not to give that game away. They came in to win. And what happened was the Bucks finally said, we are going to play on both ends of the court. We're going to run them off the 3. We're going to make it difficult for them. We're going to work hard on defense. And you know what? We focus on offense. And the result was they got stomped. Okay, stomped, Ken.
But let me interject this, Mike. It seemed like on the Bucks side of offensive, they started to pick up the game, or let's just
Mm-hmm.
be more of a pace, a faster pace than
Mm-hmm.
usual.
Mm-hmm.
In which, I've been saying this for let's just say the last month or so, that they need to, you know, bring the ball up court a little bit faster,
Yeah.
get out on the break and things like that. The Bucks just, like you said, they just seem more focused for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say that it's one game in the season. It's not a
Yeah.
statement game as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned,
Yeah.
but they just seem to have, that intensity where, we gonna fight tonight as far as this game is
Mm-hmm.
concerned.
Well, Ken, and to add, Porzingis didn't play back to back.
No, he didn't.
Okay, and he ended up with 6 points. He played 21 minutes. Okay, let's keep it real. Like, Holiday played 19 minutes. Brown played 18 minutes. So this idea, and none of the Bucks played 30 minutes. None of
No.
them, because it was over with. And see, man, this is what I'm trying to say, man. This whole idea, okay, Ken, you say it wasn't a statement game, and I agree, but they did make one statement. Oh, if you don't come to play, this is what's gonna happen to you. Okay, that let me let you know, because this is the level we are capable of playing at, and that level that the Bucks are capable of playing at, Ken, man, that's scary, man. I mean that, because it wasn't that, and you talked about Bobby Portis, right? Bobby had what, 28?
Yeah.
So you talking about Bobby Portis, right? But why did Bobby get that? Is because he was taking advantage of everything that the defense was giving him, because they were concentrating on Dame. They were concentrating on Chris. And Bobby just showed you, this is what I'm capable of. Go ahead
Oh
and give
yeah.
me them open threes. Go ahead and let me get in the low post. And see, that's what I'm saying, man. When the Bucks, I agree, that first half was what we had been looking for from the Bucks. Not that blowing the Boston Celtics out was the result. No. What we were looking for was that intensity.
Right.
We were looking for the movement of the ball. We were looking for transition, the way they moved in transition, and man, we were looking for the fight.
Right.
And they came out, bro. They were like young Mike Tyson's. They, they, man, Brown and Tatum, man, they were looking up, man, trying to find their mouthpiece. It was ugly, man. Boston got stomped. They got beat down, man. They got embarrassed, man. And any commentator that's sitting out there trying to make excuses for, okay, let's flip it. Let's say it was the Bucks.
Oh man. You would have heard, Giannis is not the player that he used to be. The Dame Giannis thing is not working. Coach Griff, he made, I
His
don't think that
job
was
in jeopardy.
right, or I don't think that was the right choice or anything like, but
I know.
it is
I
what it
know.
is.
It's crazy, man. It's like the bias in media. You can't get no love from Stephen A. Smith. They make all types of excuses. Zach Lowe, we know he was a Boston writer. He gonna talk. He and what's your boy that used to cover LeBron, Asian Wojciechowski.
Yeah.
He can't stand Milwaukee, man. And Perk of Boston said, "You're not gonna get no love for you." You just, when you look at the mainstream media, their subjectivity, man, toward these other teams, the Lakers, Boston, Philly. Nobody's even
Phoenix.
talking about Phoenix. Phoenix won the other night, man. They act like Phoenix is back on. You see, this is what Milwaukee has a better record than Golden State, better record than LA, better record than Phoenix. Okay, I'm just like, what is, man? What can help me understand, man? Like, what is the problem, man? Why do these folks hate Milwaukee, man?
I don't get him. Like, I would say it's a small market thing, but it's not, because they give love to Denver.
Yeah.
I guess
Oh yeah.
maybe because they, defending champions, but I don't even worry about it, because the thing about it is that, you got to play these games for number one. And Milwaukee, I'll say this, is that they're trying to get over that hump as far as the Dame Giannis, just coexisting. But it's going to take some time. It's just not going to happen overnight. But I think I'll say in the last, I'm gonna say 7 games they've been playing better. But a lot of these analysts will mention Milwaukee's defense. Mike, there's no team in the NBA right now is playing defense. So,
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. I mean, that's the reality. Like, they act like teams are holding other teams to under 100 points. Like every team, that's what I'm saying. When you look at these scores, man, every team is hitting 120, 130 on the regular. Yeah. And when you look at the Bucks, okay, they're 27-12. Okay, the Timberwolves are 27-11. The Thunder are 27-11. And then there's so you have Boston, you have the Timberwolves, Thunder, and the Bucks.
Okay.
But the Bucks are a mess. The Bucks defense is terrible. But see, this is, man, the data doesn't even support what these clowns are saying, man. And they're clowns, man. And is it because Giannis is a foreign player, man? Is it because, like, he's not from the States that they can't give him the same type of love that they give KD and LeBron and other people? Ken, but I also think this too. Dame coming to Milwaukee made a lot of people salty. They didn't want to see him with Giannis.
Because he didn't go to Miami? Is that what you're saying?
They was loving him to go to Miami. How many times did we hear Stephen A. and these other people talk about how, man, it's gonna be great when he listen, he didn't go there. They packed his
clothes for him.
Exactly. Exactly, man. And now we see he in Bruce City and he can't get no love. This is what I'm saying. You loved him when he was in Portland, or you loved him when he would have went to Miami, but now he in Milwaukee, he can't get no love. I don't understand it, man. I just don't know if it's this because Giannis don't play their game. They don't feel like they can relate to him or whatever, man. But how is this dude not at the top of the talk for the MVP? Okay, he averaging 31. Man, we see his playmaking, man, Giannis be dominating.
Oh, yeah.
Every game. Not some games. Every game.
Consistent.
Where's Embiid been?
On that bench.
Okay. Give
it that he's, hurt. I don't want.
But that's a pattern, though, Ken.
Yeah,
we got to point out the pattern. Like I'm not dogging him because when he on the court, he'll beast.
Oh man.
But I'm saying availability, is the best, right? So if you're not there, and so we're not even hearing that. Jokic had a stretch where he looked real bad when Jamal Murray was out. You didn't hear about that. But Giannis can have a triple-double, and they talking like the whole team falling apart, man. It's to the point, man, where I can't even listen to these dudes because it's no balance, man.
It's not.
And even when Milwaukee have a great game, they do something like this. You turn on Undisputed, you don't hear nothing. Okay, it may be a small segment on NBA TV, and they move on. Just like this in Perk, I want I know you don't listen to this show, but when you said it's deer hunting season, you don't believe in the deer. I want you to remember that. Okay, because you're gonna be back on the bandwagon. These are just bandwagon dudes, man, and they don't. Just because you played the game don't mean you can analyze the game. I'm sorry. A lot of dudes didn't. You know what? A lot of dudes have played the game that can't analyze the game. That's why they're not behind the mic, man. And I just hate to hate, man. Like, what is wrong with you, man? Why can't y'all just give Milwaukee the respect that they need? But okay.
Hey, Mike. Let's inject something else.
Okay.
Green from Milwaukee played about 9 minutes and had 9 points.
Yeah.
That he can shoot it, Mike. And I don't know why he's not getting more playing time. He need to get some of Pat's playing time because he's struggling on with the 3-ball. Green can shoot it. So
yes, he can. Bro.
I know Coach Griff is a good friend of yours, so you may want to text him that we said
So look at here, coach. Man,
Right.
you know me and Ken got a couple ideas. Block.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
Oh
I
man.
agree with you, man. He come in and he plays his role well, man. He comes in and if he open, oh, yeah. You can take it out of the net, man. I remember watching him when he was in college a little bit, man, and he can shoot. AJ
Oh, he can.
can, he got a sweet stroke, man, and I agree, and I'm so glad that Coach Griff is giving Ajax more time.
But on the see this on because I watch Milwaukee so much, it's a
Yeah,
pattern. But on the other end, on the negative, Beauchamp is struggling like big time.
can. Beauchamp to me he struggles with his confidence, and I think that he struggles on the defensive end, and
Yeah.
he just to me, Beauchamp has just okay, yeah, defense is a talent and a skill. Okay, what Drew Holiday can do with his
Uh,
anticipation is that's another level skill. Marcus Smart, another level skill. However, you can get decent at defense if you simply work at it. And Beauchamp has not made up his mind yet that I am going to be a defensive stopper. And that's what Ajax has done. He said, I'm coming in and I'm my energy is on the defensive end. And Beauchamp is not doing that. So his playing time, bruh, he didn't even play.
I know.
He didn't even play last night. I mean, like, he'll get some time tonight because of the back-to-back, and we'll see what he does. But I agree, man. He lost his spot. And that's up that again. If I'm a coach and you out there and people blowing by you, I get him up out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, until Beauchamp, because Beauchamp can be a great player, man, but he is in a very dangerous position because he's not exerting himself. I don't know if you think it's a confidence thing?
It's I think it's probably a confidence and plus, this is his second year in the NBA, so it it could be a combination, but the thing about it is that even in some games I've seen, I mean, when I went to go see them against Atlanta, I mean, it was a rough night for him on the defensive end. Like, I mean, a rough night. I think he had like 3 fouls by halftime, 3 or 4. Yeah. So
Murray and Young
yeah,
and part of the story about Milwaukee is get them in isolation because they cannot stay in front of the ball. And that has been an issue because they don't, and part of it is they try to drive things toward Brook in the drop, which is a problem because you're not always the Halliburtons, the Brunsons, man, that with the Trey Youngs with the floaters, they're gonna get them
right.
over Brook, man. And so these dudes, they can't. I'm watching them, can't. They just don't work hard. They don't work hard enough on the defense and defensive end. And when against Boston, you saw them chasing them off the 3-point line, closing out on the shot, staying in front of people. You saw them making them work because they were focused, man. And until Beauchamp decides to do that, man, he gonna be talking about, oh, I got that sliver from sitting on that pine. You know what I mean? That's what he gonna get, man. And I love Beauchamp, man. We love Beauchamp,
Yeah.
but he part of the future, man. But the future's now. I'm
Yeah.
gonna break pleasure on you. The future's now. And if you're not out there getting it now, folks like Ajax, and what about the other young brother that came in, man, that did a good job? Livingston.
Yeah, he had it. Yeah. Yeah,
Ooh,
nice little.
yeah, man. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. Man, he was in there and he was not scared.
No, he wasn't.
He was like, nah, I'm on the court. I'm about to show you what I'm about to
Right.
do. I was like, okay, young fella, give
Gone.
him more time. You know what I mean? He was working hard, man. I was like, oh, okay. So this is what Beauchamp, I think, has to recognize, man. Don't fall out of that rotation, man.
Right.
Because you know who coming back. Crowder coming back.
I know, exactly. And that's going to take away some more of his minutes. So, we'll see.
So do you think, in closing, man, it's been a great show, man. We don't, because we Bucks fans, folks, we don't try to, see, I tried to say, Ken, let's just do a Bucks show. And Kid was wise enough to say, no, let's talk about the whole NBA. So we don't spend a lot of time talking about our team that we love and support. So it's fun to finally get a chance to talk about them. So Ken, let me say this. Do you think that this is not a complete turning point for them, but do you think this is something that the Bucks can build off of, some momentum that they can take confidence-wise?
I think they can, build off of it, Mike. But the thing about it is that they still got that rhythm with Giannis, Middleton, and Dame, has to be a little bit more. I'm gonna use the word complete and consistent. So,
Yeah.
I can't think who they were playing, but they were looking at each other like, who's going to take this shot? And I'm like, somebody take the shot. Shoot, somebody stand up and be aggressive and go to the basket, shoot the jumper, or whatever the case may be. And then Middleton tried to pass it to Dame, and it was a couple of turnovers. So they got the talent. I think to me the biggest thing for Milwaukee is going to be their bench, and that's why I'm a little disappointed in Beauchamp. I thought he would be much better than what he's showing right now. Crowder, that injury kind of set them back as far as their toughness is concerned. But I mean, overall, the Bucks are. I think they're playing well, just as well as anybody out there. So if I told you they were going to make a move by the trade deadline, people would be saying like, "Why?" But I think they will. When I say a move, it may be minor. But I think they're going to make some type of move.
You think they'll pick up a wing defender?
I think so. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, which everybody's looking to get off of Chicago.
Oh, you're talking about Zach?
No.
No. You talking about Russo. Talking about Russo.
Him or the guy that came from the Lake. He went from the Lakers.
Yeah. That's Russo.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Russo.
Okay.
Yeah. He got the bald head. Used to be with the Lakers.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what his contract like, man, but that would be a great fit for the Bucks, Ken, because he is a guy that plays hard on the perimeter and has that defensive mentality. So no, I agree. I agree with you, Ken. It's that momentum. I think it was a good win for them. I think it boosted their confidence. I think it also woke the league up. See, the league was like, well, Milwaukee, they ain't got ooh. What? Boston had a 39 half. Oh,
right.
No. What? They not coming out. Oh, in closing, Ken, I gotta say this, man. In closing, even if I'm coaching, 7th graders, and they are getting blowed out, what I want them to do is to compete.
Okay.
And when you are at the highest level and you take your starters out at halftime, I don't, matter of fact, Boston should have been fined for that, because there were people that came to that game to see Tatum play, to see Brown play, to see them boys play.
Right. Yeah.
They didn't come there. They didn't buy the tickets based upon what the score was going to be. Okay. They bought their hard-earned money to see these players play.
That's true.
For Mazzulla to do that, man, I'm going to tell you, man, it was man, can I say this? I don't know if YouTube might let me. I'm just going to say it was a weak move. Okay. And it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed to watch it. I was embarrassed for the game of basketball. I think the NBA should be embarrassed at any time a team will take their starters out at halftime because they're getting the brakes beat off of them
Yeah.
because they don't think they can compete. Because that's really what he was saying. We can't compete. But you the best team in the league?
Right.
Man, come on, man. Like, okay, hold on, man. Man, okay. Would Kobe had to sat down?
Oh, no.
Mike had to sat down?
No.
LeBron ain't gonna go for that.
No.
You can say what you want to say about the king. The king is no. Listen, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna try to cut into this league. If we cut it to 15 or something like that, 16 going into the fourth, we're gonna do what we gotta do. Why? Because we are professional players. So to me, man, it was cowardly. It was weak.
Yeah.
It was like embarrassing, man. It was terrible, Ken. And to me, like I say, the NBA should have fined them and did something to him because that's terrible.
I totally agree with you, Mike. Yeah, totally agree with you.
Well, Ken, listen, man. Great show. Stay warm, man. Don't be, because is the snowblower still working?
Oh, it's still, it better work.
Yeah. Hey, we ain't gonna get that much where we need the snowblower, man. But listen, it's snowing in Oklahoma, man. So the world is upside down.
Right.
Listen, folks, the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity in our everyday life. This is why they play the game.